rolling.
And roll sound. Good evening and welcome to the February section meeting of the Toronto section of the Society of Motion Picture and Television Engineers. My name is Paul Briscoe. It's my pleasure to be the chair of this section and work with my fabulous colleagues on the board putting together meetings and doing all the stuff we do. And tonight we're about to do some of the stuff we do. Welcome to the February meeting. We're again broadcasting on the web. It worked out not too badly last month using GoToMeeting. And although we had a couple of lumps and bumps technologically, it went pretty well. And we had a remote presenter, Mark Shubin, called in from New York. I make a couple of comments on that. I got an email from Mr. Shubin after the thing, actually the next day. He said, thanks for letting me do the presentation. He said, I have a little bit of additional insight for you, just in case I didn't make sense every minute. He said, about 10 minutes before presentation, I fell off my chair and hit my head. And I delivered the presentation holding a compress to my head the whole time. And he then sat through Poynton's presentation so they could do questions at the end. He then went to the hospital and took 7 staples in his head. So Mr. Shubin is indeed a trooper, indeed has earned his points with us. I don't know what you can say about a guy who stands over. Anyway, luckily we didn't have the video going on that. We would have had to have the explanation earlier. So we have an exciting evening. We're going to do a double virtual meeting again. We're broadcasting this meeting as an experiment to see how it goes in terms of allowing remote participants to dial in and see the meeting. And we're also bringing in a remote presenter from the Netherlands this evening, so that should be a bit of fun. We're also recording the meeting. It'll be posted soon to the website for replay later. About the Toronto section, actually the membership number is stale. What was the number now, Tony? Do you remember the membership number tonight?
389.
389. Thank you, Tony. We hold 10 meetings a year, presentations, demos, things like we do here tonight, tutorials, tours, there's free food, and twice a year we have really fabulous free food in December and June. Every 2 years we have our biennial boot camp technical seminar. It's always well attended, it's always really good, and in 2016 when we have our next one, we have, oh my goodness, so much. We have the world of IP, we have 4K, we have UHD, we have high dynamic range. There's just so much to fill an agenda with in that meeting, and that'll be a lot of fun. So we're going to carry on with this virtualization of our meetings tonight. I'd like to welcome our new members. Do we have any new members in the room with us tonight? Put up your hand, please. Don't be shy. Anyway, those are our new members on the screen. Welcome, if you happen to be online. However, we have a little bit of administrative I'd like to take care of tonight. First of all, the elections are coming up for Board of Managers. And what this means is we need to strike a committee to do the nominations. This committee requires, among its components, 3 members of the general membership, in addition to 3 managers, and the chair, and it's chaired by the past chair. So I'd like to put out the word and the call this evening. If anyone is interested in participating in the nomination committee for the next board, please send an email to anyone who's on the meeting announcement masthead, and we will get your email added to the list of people to communicate with when the time comes to reach out to you and talk about that. Watch the phone. Nice, Mansour. Mansour's the first phone ringer tonight. That's Mansour. Did I mention it was Mansour? So please reach out if you'd like to participate. It's not a big commitment whatsoever. It'll be 1 or 2 teleconference meetings and a few emails to narrow down a list of people and candidates, rule them out or in, and submit that to headquarters. As well, members who are interested in joining our board. It's a ton of fun to do and a lot of fun to run, and we're always looking for more people to join us and help us. As people's work commitments change, they participate in the board and then have to move on to other things. There's always turnover, and this is a really healthy thing. So if you have an interest in participating on the board as a manager, as a manager at large, which is a more of a volunteer as opposed to an elected position where we can't assign the work quite as aggressively, again, contact any one of us on the masthead, and we'd be happy to put your name forward to the nomination committee, because obviously they need someone to nominate. Regarding future meetings, do you have a topic? We're full up for this year. We've got a great slate this year, and the early part of next year is looking fairly full as well. But if you got a topic, a 10-minute doodad you want to show us, a 15-minute presentation, please let any one of us know. As always, I put this invitation out every month. If something's happening you want to tell us about, stand up and do a little dance for us. We really, really would like to make that happen. If we can help you in some way to enable that to happen, just tell us about your interest in doing so. And then finally, we're looking for people who are attending NAB. The reason for this is our April meeting is an NAB panel, and what we're looking for is a number of things. We're looking for some people who will attend NAB with us in mind, who will come back and help compile some report they can bring in the form of a presentation, or take some photos you can give us to use in the presentations about NAB. The April meeting will be exciting. It'll be a meeting with the Montreal section on the same topic, and we're going to do a two-way virtual meeting where on our screen will be their presenters and panel, and on their screen will be our presenters and panel, and we'll do Q&A from both sides to both panels at the end of the presentation. So it should be a bit of fun. If you're going to NAB, again, what do? You send an email to anybody on the masthead, could be me, could be Tony, just send an email, say, hey, I'm going to NAB, I'd like to help. And we'll ensure they all get compiled into a list and we'll be in touch. March meeting, we're doing over-the-top television. I won't tell you much more about it, except I'll tell you one thing. We have, again, just like every meeting it seems, a really great presenter lined up, at least one, and that's Michelle Prue, formerly CTO of Miranda. And he'll be coming to, if you've ever seen Michelle dance, you know what he's going to do for an hour. It'll be a lot of fun. April's our NAB wrap-up meeting, panel discussion, NAB summary for people, photos, interesting things. In May, we're going to talk about imagers and images. This will surround cameras and image acquisition. We're not sure entirely about the detail yet. We're still working on presenters for this one. Should be very, very interesting given that you can now buy a little 4K camera for, a couple $100, whereas 25 years ago, you were going to do a couple $100 for a much lower resolution camera. So this will be fun to hear about. And then in June, it's our fabulous annual barbecue tour. And most importantly tonight, because signs did not get printed like we always do to recognize our sponsors. Our sponsors that sponsor the meeting are very important to us because our sponsors usually represent one of our presentations, but even more importantly, our sponsors pay for the food. So, because we didn't have signs printed, we offer a million times apologies. Where's Ellen? There's Ellen. I'd like Ellen to stand up. Ellen from Sony, thank you. We're sorry about the signs, but thank you so much for your sponsorship. It's wonderful to have you here. Without further ado, I'm going to hand the microphone over to one of tonight's organizers.